Welcome to the Shelf Examination Podcast, where we examine items found on the shelves of our local library. My name's Joe. I'm the makerspace guy in the libraries in southern Utah.
And I'm Sarah. I'm a reference librarian in one of the libraries here in southern Utah and a geeky guru of all things crazy and nerdy.
And we are continuing our kaiju review. And this
week,
week,
getting toward the end.
We are getting darn near the end. And this week we are doing Godzilla X Kong New Empire.
New Empire, because there's another one. There's another Godzilla X Kong. It's supposed to come out in 2027 with a different name.
Is that just what they're calling them now? Godzilla X Kong subtitle? Should we just call this one New Empire? Let's just call
For now, we'll just call it New Empire.
Okay,
now that we've established.
I'm putting this one on the ranking list as New Empire so that we know which
So
one
it'd be GxK New Empire.
No, forget the GxK. We're just New Empire. GxK is like Star Wars. Everything past the first one doesn't count. You know? Now, what did you think of Godzilla X Kong? Let's get the general overall.
I didn't like it as much as the first one.
I would agree with that one. I think that this one had some...
Although I loved having Mothra come back. Yay, yay, yay.
There were a lot of individual things about this
but
movie.
As a whole,
I just kind of had problems with it.
I liked it, but not as much as I liked Godzilla vs. Kong.
Mothra came back, but there was no word about why Mothra...
wasn't dead.
Yeah. Is this another Mothra? Is this a second Mothra?
We don't know.
Let's just not think about it. I feel like continuity... Well, I mean, this is... true in all Godzillas. Continuity is not a major goal.
They did establish in this one, however, that Godzilla did have a quote-unquote a people. You know, he had a race.
Where? Oh, did they?
In the hieroglyphs, when he was fighting off King Scar. It established that the race of King Scar's monkeys were fighting... A race of giant lizards. Now this is...
you mean there's there's more than one Godzilla.
More than one Godzilla.
Not that there's a bunch of people behind Godzilla.
No.
Okay, yes. That I got. Yes, they established that there was multiple Godzillas.
If a Godzilla dies, look, we have another one because there's a race of them. We can prove it.
Right. Okay, yeah, that makes...
So they don't ever establish that whether or not there are more Mothras, but the first Mothra came from a pupa egg, so we can assume that there's more eggs somewhere.
Well, and there were two Mutos when the Mutos showed up. So we are establishing that there are races of creatures. So, okay, yeah, absolutely cool. No, the other thing about this movie that I thought was really great was when King Kong went up to go get Godzilla, and the moment where Godzilla shows up and he holds out his hand, he's like, "No, dude, we don't have to
we're going to talk. We're going to talk." And he's like, and Godzilla's like, "Screw you, man." Yeah,
great moment. Not bad fight as he's fighting over, but...
Well, it was never tended to be the quintessential fight because one of them didn't have his heart in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Godzilla, Kong is like, I don't want to kill this guy. I need him on my side.
Although I do like that once Kong decided, you know what, this is it. We're going to do this thing. He was like, all in. Dude, I am going to beat you down until you submit. But it was a very good fight, but it wasn't enough to elevate this movie, I think. I agree with you. Godzilla X Kong... not as good as Godzilla vs. Kong, the first one.
But saying that, it grossed $552.5 million worldwide when it had a budget of $130 to $150 million.
Okay, how does that compare to Godzilla vs. Kong?
It is actually the highest grossing movie of the Monsterverse.
Okay,
but it was kind of, I believe, riding the coattails of the first movie.
I feel like that just justifies the idea of this being a quick knockout sequel riding on the coattails of the first one. I don't think that people expected the first one to be as good as it was, and so they really quickly cracked out this
Another one. Yep.
And it
feels
like it.
Really quickly cracks a movie that's 3/4 digital.
Exactly.
With all that.
And there's a lot of things in this movie that aren't bad.
The mocap they had to do is the poor mocap actor. He had to have these big extensions on his arms to make it capture properly.
Sure.
Because he's an orangutan.
He's an orangutan, sort of gorilla.
Yeah.
Here's my biggest problem with this movie. Okay, like I said, it felt like a quick knockout sequel to the first one, and here's why. Number one, there's so much lack of scale in this movie.
And actually, the director, he said, for this one, we paid so much attention to scale in the first one. This one, we're just going to get straight to the action. Don't bother with the scale. And I was like, I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah, and it
The
bothered
sad thing
me.
was it was the same director.
It bothered me both times while I was watching
His
this
name
movie.
was Wingard.
Wingard. Okay. Both times that I have watched this movie, I felt like when we have giant monsters fighting giant monsters in giant canyons, and then we have giant gorillas fighting giant monkeys in a big canyon, and we have nothing to base our scale on, nothing feels... When everything is giant, nothing is giant.
I mean, all you needed was a plane to go by.
Yeah, or a small tree.
Or a person.
Everything is big in Hollow Earth.
I always call it the upside down.
The upside.
Well, tell me I'm wrong. You go in and you're upside down.
No, you're upside down half the time in that place. It's
so
true.
I'm always looking for Will. Where's Will in the upside down?
Here's the other problem with this movie. Several times we had human actors looking like they were standing on a very small green screen stage and looking up at action that they couldn't see and going, ooh, and reacting to some, or they were on a cliff that looked like it was on a very small green screen stage, and they were going, ooh, at something.
So their reactions didn't quite meet the grand scale of what was going on.
And when we do get the human characters providing the scale, it feels disconnected. Yeah. Because it was.
And part of that is a failure on the director's part. I don't want to say just the directors, because the actors didn't emote well. But when you're not getting a lot, ooh, rawr, here's your evil thing, rawr, they don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah.
In a behind the scenes in the TV series Babylon 5, they were talking with...
oh, man.
I love that show.
I would love to. I have not sat down and watched all of Babylon 5 from beginning to end. I would love to do that.
I own the whole thing.
Let's make that a 2026 resolution. Watch all of Babylon
I'll loan
5.
you my DVDs. But
physical media.
They were talking about...
well, they're in our collection, actually.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Go to your library if you want to see Babylon 5. Yeah. But they were talking to Bruce Boxleitner and Claudia Black. They say, okay, well, you're going to walk out on the stage, and ahead out in front of you, you see a big ship. They did the same thing in SG-1. So they walk out and they're like, ooh, and then they see the actual, ship.
Footage of
the footage with all the CG, and they're like, wow, we look like idiots. That thing is huge. Yeah. And we're just like, okay, ship.
Yeah. No, you got to give people something to work on. And I will say, it's kind of exciting what they're doing now. Have you seen the volume that they originally pioneered this thing for The Mandalorian? Where essentially they've made a wall of television screens around the actors. And the cool thing that they've done with this is that they've made it so that they track the location of the camera and adjust the perspective of what the camera can see, so that it creates more depth, or in fact they can fake less depth using these tricks.
Which is cool.
Which is very cool. But it also means that the actors aren't acting to a green flat screen.
There's nothing there,
They are reacting to an actual set around them.
Right.
And it's funny because outside of the range of the camera, the perspective doesn't shift. They don't want to waste the processing power on that. But it still provides them something so that they can go, ooh,
appropriately.
There we go. Jinx, you owe me a soda. No, but that I think is a huge thing that this movie didn't have.
And it shows really well the difference between when the actors do have the proper idea in their brain, as opposed to not getting enough feedback and underreacting.
If they took a dude, there was a stage production of the original 1933 King Kong. I say it's the original 1933 King Kong because that is what they were adapting for the stage.
Yes.
And what they did was they put a big projector behind the actors. So whenever they had King Kong there was a dude in a monkey suit off stage that they pointed a camera at, and then they projected him on the projector behind them.
That's kind of cool.
Look up footage of this. Dan Povenmire did a short about it, but they had several times where the people were running through the forest trying to get away from King Kong, and they had trees in the background moving away from them in perspective, so that as they're just jogging in place. And they worked a lot of very cool practical effects. At one point, King Kong reaches in and grabs Fay Wray.
And so you have the
not
hand
Fay
coming.
Wray, but the character. And the actor gets up close to it, and then a giant hand comes from the side and grabs her and pulls her away.
That's cool.
It was very cool. It was very fun. And were these great actors? No, these were high school production actors, college production. But they put their heart into the effects, and it was really fun to see.
That's awesome.
So I feel like this movie didn't even have that level.
Oh, no!
Now, the other thing about this movie that really kind of bothered me, and this I only thought about on this watching, but after we had talked about, I think that the MonsterVerse doesn't have the A-B story structure.
Not as much.
They're moving away from that.
Yeah.
But this movie kind of did. Except it had A, B, and C.
C. Okay, it's not just me that felt that. Okay.
We had the A story, and we're going to call the A story the King Kong story.
Yeah.
The King Kong story is him exploring the
Hollower
Hollow Earth, the hollower Earth, the more, I don't know.
The next layer down?
Yeah, Hollow Earth level 2.
Yeah, the sub-basement.
There we
Hollow
go.
Earth, the sub-basement.
The sub-basement.
It sounds like a really bad sequel.
It sounds like a really
film.
bad ARG or something like that.
Yeah.
So we're going to call King Kong story the A story. The B story is the human-centered story.
Yeah.
Okay, that is
With Gia and
right, and they've got the new heaves, and they're exploring Middle Earth. Not Middle Earth. I'm doing it again. I want
to see the hobbits with King Kong.
Number 3, the C story in this one
is
Godzilla, and he is so relegated to the C story.
I know. I actually wrote that down a couple places.
It bugs me that there is an entire scene. We see Godzilla fighting what's the
Tiamat.
snaky Tiamat creature, which again we should have had a movie for Tiamat before this point.
And I was like, oh, Tiamat, I wonder what kind of version they're going to use, and then they didn't use either of them.
It was a completely different.
Because I was thinking either it's going to be the Mesopotamian monster from their mythology, or it's going to be 5-headed Tiamat from D&D. No, it was a Chinese dragon.
There
that
was
glowed.
a creature in old Godzilla movies that had his own movie that was a Chinese dragon. It didn't glow, but that one showed up a couple of times. I feel like this was supposed to be that, but they couldn't secure the rights from Toho, so they just search and replace the name on it.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, that creature should have had its own movie.
It was cool.
It was very cool.
And he got
disposed of off screen.
Like, bye, Tiamat. Nice knowing you.
And then Godzilla sits in Tiamat's lair to level up.
He absorbs the quote-unquote cosmic radiation.
That Tiamat's lair is an antenna for.
And I'm like, so is it better than regular radiation?
Well, apparently, because it puts Godzilla into pink mode.
He goes into magenta mode. I was watching that and I was like, oh! Trans Am! If anyone's seen Gundam 00, when they get their extra gear and they go super fast, it's called Trans Am, and all their Gundams turn pink.
I think that this was supposed to evoke like that he's on fire
or something,
or that he's got like burn, but it's pink.
I just thought, did they have too much magenta ink? I don't know.
I don't hate pink Godzilla.
Well, no, it was kind of cool. It was an interesting concept, but still.
But it was pink Godzilla. But here's the thing. While he is leveling up there, we get 2 swaps back to A story, B story, and then look at Godzilla leveling up.
And he's still leveling up.
And then A story, B story, then back to Godzilla.
It was like Goku in Dragon Ball Z and his spirit bombs that take forever and then don't work.
Yeah. But it was absolutely like, we're going to sideline Godzilla.
Completely.
Who has top billing in this movie.
So,
we're going to sideline him.
Beginning of the movie. So you've got Kong searching, and there's a sinkhole into another layer, because he's trying to find more of his people.
The reason why he opened up the sinkhole, the reason why the sinkhole opened up, is because Hollow Earth is trying to kill him constantly.
Yes.
And so
it's not a friendly locale.
Exactly. I mean, basically what we have is Skull Island again.
Part 2.
Because you remember the original Skull Island, everything was trying to kill him.
Yeah.
And now he's in Hollow Earth and everything is trying to kill him. And I guess this is just comfortable for Kong. Yeah.
Kong, it's Tuesday.
But Kong, being the intelligent creature that he is, he uses traps and sets traps. And one of the traps was a giant pit. And that giant pit happened to collapse and opened up the sinkhole to Hollow Earth level 2. Yeah, exactly. So, okay, yes, that is the opening of it. And again, we get this no-scale problem. We got giant
because everything's
monsters.
huge in Hollow Earth.
Exactly.
Well, and then you've got Godzilla, who is fighting Tyanus Cilia.
A Lovecraftian calamari crab is
what
it was.
I'm so glad. I was thinking, oh my gosh, it's straight from Lovecraft. It was such a throwaway awake monster. I was like, and he's gone again.
I will say this, though.
That happened a lot
He
in this
made
movie.
me realize that giant monsters only look giant when they're stocky.
Yeah.
The problem that I had with the Mutos, and I didn't realize it until now, but the problem that I had with the Mutos was that they were spindly, and spindly doesn't look
Threatening.
big. This monster was spindly, and spindly doesn't look big. But you look at Godzilla, he is a thick boy. You look at King Kong, he is a thick monkey. We look at Scar King, which will come later, and he's spindly.
Yeah.
And he
a lot
doesn't
more.
look right.
Yeah.
So we need stocky
I looked
monsters.
at
So I didn't mind
Celia.
this monster being wiped
Yeah,
out
I
real
looked at
fast.
him and I was like, I was reminded of, Moana, shiny. And I was like, oh, he's got to go.
But I also think that the moment that King Kong left his corpse on the streets of Italy, they were frying him up.
You mean Godzilla?
Or Godzilla left his corpse on the streets of Italy.
I love the fact that
he was ending up in pasta. I guarantee you. Kaiju pasta.
Oh boy. So Godzilla kills him, takes a look at the Coliseum and goes, that looks comfortable. If I fits, I sits.
Yeah. He is a big cat. He is a big cat.
He just is like, okay, nap time, curls up in the Coliseum.
And I kind of love that at the end of the movie.
He did it again!
He returned. He's like, no, I did the
end.
Coliseum, man.
Yeah, at the very end, I said, Godzilla fixes the issues and then goes back to bed. It's mine now.
And ain't nobody going to argue.
I know. I was like, who's going to tell him no? Okay, it's this ancient, amazing wonder of the... Nope, it's Godzilla's bed.
Exactly. And it's a comfy bed, so
yeah,
hey.
I wrote it down. If I fits, I sits. So Monarch has now got a base in Hollow Earth, and they're trying to monitor things, and then suddenly they get this awful signal.
Right, the MacGuffin signal, the 3 spikes MacGuffin signal. Right.
Yeah, and so they're like, and then you flip to Gia, who is back.
And she's going
she's
to
the
a
last
school.
Kiwi, and she's in school.
Yeah. Now, I did some research. This actress is actually deaf.
Yes.
She is legitimately deaf, and she is, I think she is a phenomenal actress.
She's brilliant.
She is really, really good. I just feel bad that how many roles is she going to be able to play? I want to see more of her in a lot of other things, because when she is on screen, she's amazing.
Yeah, no, she's brilliant, and I really
it's just
loved
she would have to have roles made for her. But you know what? Make more roles for this girl. She's is
brilliant.
Worth
yeah,
it.
no, I loved it. And
Also,
so she's with her adopted mom, Dr. Eileen.
Now, I want to point out there was a blatant VW product shot.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
She parks her VW, I don't know what, in the middle of a field.
I was like, product placement?
Yeah, why is it in the middle of the field? Because they're getting that 3/4 product placement shot that they can put VW killing kaijus or whatever the heck. I can't.
It was like
clever.
in the original first Transformer movies by Bay, and you have the
do not besmirch the original 1984
no
Transformer movie.
I can't. I'm scarred for life. They killed Optimus Prime. I'm done.
They brought him back.
Yes, but I was still traumatized as a child. That and R-Tax and E.T. Hello.
Yes, but that movie gave us what was it? Whip, Need, Bueno Rap.
Nanny bomb.
That's it. I need to memorize that better,
but
we got a geeky guru here, so I know you know it.
You gotta have an inner job snack. I can't believe I remember that.
So one thing interesting about this is, so they take the little girl home.
Yeah, well, she picks up the signal and she starts to hallucinate and she sees visions, but she has no way to communicate.
Right, and she's scribbling all over her table, and she's scribbling and the teacher's like, "We're concerned about her." Yeah, absolutely.
I would be too.
And then her mom comes up and sees these scribbles
and goes, "Wait, I recognize this."
That's the thing. She doesn't.
You think she would?
She should go, honey, I saw this earlier today.
Right?
I don't want to alarm you because I love you, but I want you to know this isn't from inside you.
No, this is not okay.
You are picking up on something in the greater world out here.
Your antenna picks up things that our antennas don't, and we need to hone in on that.
And we need to hone in. But she doesn't. Yeah. Instead, what she does is she goes home and watches a documentary that is exposition about everything that she was already participating in.
I know. I was like, well, that was easy. Look, documentary happens to be on TV.
Yeah, and it was 100% there for the audience who might not have seen the
first
previous
one.
movies. But at the same time, God, that made no sense.
Right?
Okay.
So
I just had to get that out.
Yeah, you're right. So we get all that, and then we go back to Godzilla, who wakes up His spidey senses are tingling.
Yeah, his
because
expositional senses.
he picks up on the radio waves. And so he decides that he needs to power up, so he goes and, yummy French reactor, nom nom nom.
Yes, I love that he's going after another nuclear reactor.
Yes.
I hate that their answer to this one was, let's throw missiles at him. Like,
what is that going to do? He's eating a reactor.
This dude is impervious.
Yeah.
Thinking about...
They know this. They know this. We've established this through 4 other movies.
And you would think that if they had some sort of like, we now have a missile that can pierce his skin, they would send that one. But no, they just sent regular blowy-uppy explosion.
Yeah.
Don't do him any actual harm.
No.
The problem with a matchup between Godzilla and King Kong is Godzilla is impervious and has claws.
Yes.
King Kong,
breath.
a little bit more soft and squishy.
Yes.
And he
just
has
supposed to be a little
soft,
smaller.
squishy fingers.
He's just supposed to be a little smarter.
Yeah, just supposed to be a little smarter, but in a hand-to-hand fight, it's no wonder that he lost in the last movie,
right?
You know?
And well, he doesn't have atomic breath.
Nope.
He doesn't have impervious
But he did
skin.
have the equalizer last time,
He
and
did.
he gets a new toy in this movie that,
for a little while.
Again, doesn't make him sharper or more pointy or more scratchy, just makes him punch harder.
Yes. Oh, he's armed.
We will talk about this when we get to it, but yeah, I don't see this matchup being fair.
No, so I see, so here, I just thought it was really funny. It was like, let's go search some French cuisine. Let's get the French.
Let's get some French nuclear.
Nom.
Yeah, that is pretty.
Because his spider senses are tingling. He's picking up the, and meanwhile, Monarch is like, it looks like he's preparing for something. What is he preparing for?
What could he possibly be preparing? I love that they jumped to that.
You are so far behind, dude.
I know.
Get with the program.
You got all the pieces, but if they put it together too soon, we don't have a movie. Yeah. So that is.
So he looks around. He eats the reactor, and then he decides, I'm going to go to the Arctic and kill Tiamat. That's a good plan.
Kill Tiamat, yeah. And as we've already discussed, wipes out Tiamat off screen and then sits in there. And just at this point.
And then we're done with Godzilla for a while.
Yeah, we're done with Godzilla for a while. So let's go back. We have been reintroduced to Podcast. Podcast is back. Mm-hmm. What's his name? I don't remember.
I wrote it down.
Podcast was the name of the kid in the Ghostbusters movie, and I think that this is just another podcast guy.
It's Crazy Man Bernie.
That's right, Bernie. I can't say that I'm excited about the return of Podcast, but
he's the plucky comic relief.
Yeah, I will say that this establishes one of the longest running casts in any Godzilla continuity.
Yeah,
like even the classic ones did not keep human characters from movie to movie as much as this one is.
And MonsterVerse has done great, with the exception of Kong Skull Island, because they set that in the 60s.
Sure.
So you have some characters that were really young in Kong Skull Island that came back as different actors that are quite old now.
Right, and that still established a continuous cast that, yes, some of them dropped out. And then immediately after that, we get
Kong, and
King Kong has
he gets a bro fight with Zuko that he meets from the sinkhole. There's another ape.
Oh no, we got to go back because
what are we missing?
The hurt tooth.
Oh yes, the tooth.
King Kong has a damaged tooth. He comes up to the surface, and we get introduced to Handsome Boy.
Trapper. Who happens to be a Titan vet.
Exactly.
Titans have a vet now?
Apparently they do. Now,
and he pulls really big teeth.
His introduction is great.
And I thought, what a terrible name for a vet. Trapper.
Right? I agree with you. He shows up. He's funny. He's clever.
Great.
They've got the music. I got you. As he's sitting here pulling the tooth.
But yeah, he kind of reminded me of a Star-Lord kind of move.
Yeah. They are 100% riffing off Star-Lord. This movie has a lot of music in it.
Yeah, it does. And
it's
great
good music. But again, it's like stealing that Star-Lord thing for it. They're kind of trying to work with the formula and see what works, and I hate to say that I like it.
I know.
The music was great.
Oh, man. It's like watching the end of Stranger Things. Oh, fantastic 80s music all the way. So, yeah, I was not sad when the music was cool.
He rips out the tooth. He puts in a titanium tooth. He says, this tooth could bite through the Eiffel Tower. That is Chekhov's tooth. Mm-hmm. It is never coming back again. The only thing it does is when King Kong meets the skull or the Scar King, the Scar King laughs at him for his tooth and makes everybody else laugh at him.
Yeah.
Because, humans help you out. That made no sense.
Yeah,
I wanted to see him bite through the Eiffel Tower.
It was a total MacGuffin.
Now, of course, I also had a question of if he did bite through the Eiffel Tower, Wouldn't that impact the tooth into his skull? I foresee problems with it. But still,
I don't know.
Set up this tooth as being...
It's going to be this total cool thing.
Something, and it does.
It was a
never
red
paid
herring.
Off. It was a red herring. But we are also introduced to Trapper. We have this moment where he talks with her and establishes that he's got backstory with her and that he just is too cool to be tied down. We also have a new heave. They didn't change the name, but they changed the look of it. It is now more spiky and looks really cool.
It's Heave Part 2.
Part 2. And this
the
new
spiky
heave,
revenge.
The spiky... Ooh, I do not like spiky heaves.
Ouch. That sounds so painful.
That does not end well, no. I much prefer my heaves to be buttery smooth.
It's throwing up dragon fruit. Oh.
No, yeah. Durian heave is not the way to go on any level.
So let's not do that. Anyway, more heaves.
Yeah, and they send King Kong back, and they send him, and they go down with the new heave. And it turns out the inversion is much closer to the surface now. Apparently, they're going back and forth without problems.
Yes.
This new heave has they establish it has cool camouflage, and they establish that there are these flying monsters that send electricity between themselves, and the bad guys really don't like them. That was the Chekhovs.
I know.
The Chekhovs monsters. They show up, you know.
Yeah, but use that.
Well, they do. They do absolutely use that later on, but they don't use the tooth. I'm still just kind of like, grrr.
And so he goes into the sinkhole and he finds Suko.
Yes.
Another ape.
Okay,
and
so they have like little monkey.
Yeah, so they have like a bro fight.
And then they become new BFFs. Monkeys, well, not just little monkey, but they establish a whole lot of other monkeys.
Yes,
and all of these other monkeys are not friendly. And this is one of the best fights in this movie.
It was very cool.
Where he takes the little monkey and beats some of the other monkeys.
Yeah, it was a total Hulk smash moment.
It was awesome.
I was like Loki going, yeah, that's how it feels, you know.
Yeah. Now, also at the same time, after he defeats the other monkeys, little monkey tries to run away, and he is like, "No, you are taking me somewhere."
So they and as they're traveling along, they become BFFs.
Well, what happens is little monkey tries to trick King Kong into fighting a river monster, and this happens in the movie at the same time as the Tiamat fight. Yeah. So they're both fighting snakes, but King Kong's fight. Little Monkey thought that this was going to be the end of him. It ends faster than he expected. He thought he could get away. All of a sudden, the equalizer is in his face, and King Kong is showing up with a bunch of snake steaks.
Yep, just because he had an axe.
Yeah, it was over in a minute. You can't forget
that he still has his axe.
Yeah, this fight did not last very long.
It was hilarious.
Little Monkey did not get away the way that he thought.
He was like, oh, wow, tool concept. That's Sharpie and sharpen cutty thing. Ouch.
Yes. And then we see a scene where this is where they bond because he's eating from the snake steaks. Now I got a complaint here. This snake, from the cutaways, looks like a perfect steak. I mean, it looks like throw that sucker on the grill. It looks like a salmon steak, but it looks like a perfect steak. And he is slurping entrails out like spaghetti. Like, dude, just eat the meat, man. That's where the delicious stuff is. But then little monkey is like,
he wants more protein.
Hey, buddy, can I get a piece? And King Kong is like, yeah, sure, rips off a piece, and he won't take it, so he throws it at him. And then he eats it, and little monkey is like, oh, I guess big monkey's not so bad. And, that's the moment where they become BFFs. Yeah.
So after all that's going on, and Suko takes King Kong home to meet the tribe.
Right.
Gotta meet the family. So then you see Dr. Eileen, Gia, Trapper, and Crazy Bernie come to trace down the signal in Hollow Earth, and the Monarch base is destroyed. You notice that happens a lot.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
They keep building them, and we keep knocking them down.
Keep in mind, first of all, they're made to watch Titans, so they're already in a high-risk situation.
But you would think they would build them better.
Well, how good can you build it in the end? I think that there is a difference between the way Europeans build things and the way Americans build things.
Yes, there is.
There have been a lot of people who criticize The Wizard of Oz. They're like, if that had been built the way that we build things in Europe, built out of rock, the tornado couldn't have torn it away.
Well, you don't get tornadoes there either.
Yes. And that house was rebuilt the very next day.
Yep.
This is the reason why you build it out of cheap material and
Well,
make
it's
it
what we
easy to
have.
evacuate.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just what we have. If you know that you can't stand up to the forces that it's going to be up against,
Okay.
make it breakaway.
And then you can
But-
just, and easy to replace.
And easy to replace. So
Yeah.
I suspect that is the tack that they're going with, except that in this case, not a lot of people escape. You got to make
No,
sure that
it-
with your
You
paper,
got to get out, yeah.
yeah, buildings, that you got to have a good escape plan.
You
for the
got to have
people.
like a good storm cellar or something.
Meanwhile, he finds a big old camera and he's like, "Can we get some footage off of this camera?" No, you disconnected it. Go find out what that was plugged into. Where's the recording equipment? Well, apparently it's on the camera. Who knew? I kind of like this idea of compartmentalization
Yeah.
of technology so that you can just take the camera off and it's got a memory card on it. But at the same time, that ain't the technology we're working with. Then
Nope.
again, we also don't have heaves with camouflage technology. So, all right.
Or Hollow Earth or anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so the source of the signal is telepathic with the Iwi tribe that's still around. They're just not on the surface anymore.
Yeah, we find new iwi. Well, they find signs of human civilization in the forest. This also leads to another scene. I don't know if you have a note about this one, but the pilot of the Heave and Trapper, they're walking through the forest, and Trapper is like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! Something's wrong here." Yeah, dude, this place is trying to kill you. Of course, there's
Of course
something
there's
wrong.
something
here. But
wrong.
he's
You're
like,
inside the Earth.
We should not go this direction. And the pilot decides to get belligerent. Never, ever get belligerent in a monster movie, okay?
I know, right?
Because as soon as the first time I
It's-
watched this,
it's-
I'm like, that dude's gonna die, and he
It's
starts
like
yelling, and
a
I'm like, that
horror
dude's
movie when the teenagers all go to the
Yeah.
basement.
yeah, exactly. There are certain tells, and as soon as he started yelling, I was like, he's gonna die.
He's a threat.
And then he
He's a
got
red shirt.
belligerent. I'm the one in charge. I'm like, oh, dude, you just
Yeah, you're
sealed
dead.
your crump, and a
Yep.
tree killed him. No. And then we have a scene where Trapper hugs Bernie
Mm-hmm.
and goes, it's all right, man. These things happen. We're living in a strange world, but maybe the Titans are showing us that the world's not ours. And he's like, dude,
Duh.
there's something wrong with you.
Duh.
No, dude, there's not something wrong with him. He was the one that you should have listened to.
Yeah, the first
Listen to
time.
him now.
Yes.
Better
You
listen.
saw the guy got eaten or smashed or
Yeah.
smooshed and all those other things that happened to all those people who didn't listen. Maybe you should listen.
But eventually they find the Iwi
The Iwi Temple.
temple, and
And it has hieroglyphics.
I love that this is set up like a video game.
It was cool.
Because what do you have to do in this game? Well, we got to unlock the puzzle, and the puzzle is unlocked by pressing this button, and we are going to have a glowing, flashing hint bug land
Right
on the
here.
button
I
to
know.
tell you it is 100% a point-and-click adventure. And I
dug
for some
it.
reason don't hate
I
it.
dug it.
Yeah.
You have a quote unquote a bug in the system. Well, that was your bug. Be happy it's there.
It was a hint in this case, and I loved it. And the water flows, and it leads them. This was odd. They hit the button, the water flows, but the water didn't open up the door.
No.
It just led them to the
To it,
wall.
yes.
And their thought was, let's just rip open the bioshield.
Yeah, right.
I hope that heals. I really hope
yeah.
that's not. Let's go circle around and see if we can find another door. No,
No,
let's
no.
just tear it. Although
It's total D&D adventure group though.
to be fair, they built their stuff out of paper too.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I was totally like, I was watching it and I was like, yeah, that's a D&D adventuring group
Yeah.
right there. I'm just going to bludgeon my way through this. Don't care about the consequences. I cast fireball,
yeah, exactly. They cast. They also rip through it with their fingers. I would have expected somebody to pull out a knife.
Or something.
Are we opposed to knives in movies? Is this a problem? Are movies like, we can't have people with weapons?
Wait, what?
Take a knife into the forest. That
Well,
is
you're-
basic survival skills.
Pocket knife,
you know?
at least.
Yeah.
Come on. We
Trapper
know it's
should have had a
dangerous
pocket
there.
knife. Yeah.
Why not? He had all those giant dental tools.
Why not? Yeah, he absolutely should have. There should have been a knife for this, but no, it was so weak they were able to just rip it
Rip right
apart
through
with their
it, yeah.
fingers. Okay, fine.
But yeah, so
And
they
then-
find the hieroglyphics, and again, it's like the documentary. It's plot convenience to tell you
Right.
about the Scar King and
I also
all
like
that.
that they poured like blue milk
Yes.
to light up the exposition room.
Yes.
And she shows up. So we've met the Iwis, and turns out the Iwis, when we first met them in Skull Island, he was just like, yeah, they're really quiet. No.
No, they're telepathic.
They're telepathic.
That's why they don't have to speak out loud.
Honestly,
I dig it.
Yeah, good story building. It built on what they already established in a previous movie and gave it a good explanation. Did they have that planned in the previous movie?
Who knows?
I don't know.
But they worked with it.
And I kind of love it. So
yeah, and it explains why Gia keeps picking up all these weird signals.
Because she's also partially psychic, but she also knows sign language, so she can be an interpreter.
So she can talk to the people who aren't psychic.
Yeah, the Iwi Queen does a
Dug
mind
her,
meld
by
with
the way.
her.
Yeah.
What? Who's that?
I dug the Queen.
Yeah, she was she shows up just regal as all get out, and she does a mind meld with the girl, and she gets the full backstory dump, and she's like, "Hey, these people are okay," and all of a sudden everybody's cool with everybody.
Yeah, you know what? If
off to
only
exposition
we could
room.
have people like that, so we could have much better, diplomatic relations.
Now, fortunately, this exposition room is written in a language that the mom can read.
Yes, that Dr. Eileen can actually read it, unlike the scribbles on the desk, apparently.
Yeah. So, hey, there we go. And we find out about the backstory, like you said, where a race of Godzillas fought the Scar King and imprisoned him underground.
Yes, and he caused the Ice Age that we had before.
He had another Godzilla. So a lot of times in these movies, in order to save time, especially in the first movie, in order to save time establishing the backstory of the bad guy is just an evil version of the good guy.
Yep.
They didn't do that until like the fifth movie in this one.
Yeah, this is the fifth movie.
And we don't need it at this
point.
point.
No, we've got past that.
We could have actual creatures, but instead we get evil Godzilla with evil King Kong.
Yeah.
This is not the time for that. Let's do one better. Now, it did establish, though.
It did establish that Gia is the prophesied key to bringing back Mothra.
Right. But it also established that King Kong has family now. There are more than one king. There's more than one Kong. Yeah, giant monkey. And that, he's going to be the king of them eventually.
According to prophecy.
Yeah. Now, are we to the point where King Kong meets the Scar King? I think we're almost to that point.
We're almost to there.
So is there anything else we need to hit before that?
Well, we find out. No, we find out that Scar King it's his fault that we have the Ice Age, and that these guys are freaking old because they're in charge of the Ice Age.
Or
because it was the Scar King
would have had to have been like 1,000 years, and he looks old, but he doesn't look that old.
He doesn't look 20,000 years old.
He's looking pretty good for 20,000 years. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I know, right?
And it is okay. We have established that larger animals live longer.
Yeah.
There have been whales that they have found harpoons.
Yeah.
From like when we were harpooning whales.
The early 1800s, yeah.
And it's still in them. So
there's someone there who knows Ishmael and Captain Ahab.
Yeah, exactly. So we established the Scar King. He's got this little, crystal to control the ice Godzilla.
Oh my gosh! So I wrote down. I said, using a crystal to control the mind of Shimo and attack Kong. How very Sailor Moon of them. It's totally Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I'm trying to like decide who's going to be Tuxedo Mask in this case, but I don't want to.
I know who comes in.
Oh, that's Mothra.
It's going to be Mothra who comes in, throws the rose, says, "Work together,
even
go."
Got a mask.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Mothra is now Tuxedo Mask. You heard it here first.
I mean, the genders are the wrong direction.
Who cares?
Who cares? I just want to see King Kong with the buns on.
So does that makes Godzilla Mars, right? Because the fire.
Yeah. No, I'm with it. Oh my goodness, I do not write that fan art.
Draw the fan art, write the fanfic, do it, and then share it with us.
Yeah. All right. So King Kong meets up with Scar King. They have a fight. King Kong gets his butt handed to him, and in fact gets his arm like frostbitten because
Shimo breathes the ice.
Well, and the weapon, the equalizer that he has, doesn't absorb the ice breath.
No.
And so he ended up with ice all over his arm.
Because it's metal and it hurts. And,
And so that
and he loses the axe at this point.
He loses the axe at this point, and he crawls back to the Iwis, and Little Monkey helps him escape.
Yes.
And so we got Little Monkey and
Little
King
Monkey's
Kong.
name is Suko, and then female big monkey that is being controlled that has ice breath is Shimo.
Yes.
Just because I wrote it down and I wanted.
I'm still gonna just call it Icezilla and Little Monkey because Shimu and Shima, that didn't do hard enough of this one. We are to a point now where King Kong is with the other humans.
Yes.
And somehow the scale still isn't working.
Yeah, it's still weird.
It still doesn't feel like they're in the same space, and it doesn't feel like King Kong is huge.
At that point, I was like, oh, so the Scar King didn't actually cause the Ice Age.
It was anti-Zilla.
He just stole credit.
He stole credit for it. Well, to be fair, it was at his command, at his hand.
Yeah,
anti-Zilla was being used as a weapon.
Yeah, and I wrote, axe is gone, frowny face, but new arm.
Yes, we are introduced to Project Powerhouse. Now, there has been some discussion online about the schematics for this arm when he goes to the base to get it are exactly the same schematics, including future upgrades for a chainsaw or a chain sword and other things as Pacific Rim.
Yep.
And the question was, are they going to try to
merge the two?
Merge the two. Not exactly the same, like a soft reboot of Pacific Rim, but are we going to see Gypsy Danger in a future movie? I'm not opposed to this.
I'm not opposed to this idea, but at the same point, are they put out by the same company?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
That's the deal.
I couldn't remember.
So part of the reason why Tiamat was Tiamat and not this other creature from Toho is that every time they use a monster from Toho, they have to license it from Toho, and Toho doesn't want to let them use it or
as a matter of fact,
wants to let them use it for a large price.
That was one of my signed things. We almost didn't get Mothra.
Right.
They did not. Legendary and the Warner Brothers, WB, didn't get the rights to Mothra till the very last possible second.
And as I understand,
so they originally had
they had a stand-in character.
Okay.
Well, that sounds very Mothra-y.
Yeah,
so
it was going to glow more.
It was obvious that it was a search and replace.
Firefly. They really did say that it was a stand-in for Mothra in case they didn't come through. But we came super close to not having Mothra. I would have been sad.
These companies do own Pacific Rim, so it would be a lot easier for them to shoehorn that in. But it would be a soft reboot.
Yeah, it would have to be.
Yeah. Also, they would have to build Gypsy Danger much bigger.
Yeah.
Also,
and you would have Godzilla and the other Titans not liking the kaiju's coming from the other world.
Although there were robots in the classic series. There was one of them that broke off into an airplane and a tank. It like Voltron together and stuff like that. So I would be down with some robot action in here, as long as it's like not done stupidly like Mechazilla was.
Yeah, I cannot imagine Godzilla putting up with those things coming in without getting involved. So you'd have to have a reboot because he's not shown in those movies.
No, he's not. But at the same time,
and he would totally be there.
Yeah, it's going to be a soft reboot if they do it.
My Planet Smush. You know?
I'm not opposed to that idea.
Okay.
I would like to see it. I just hope that they don't do the whole we need to have two pilots thing. That was something that they were never consistent with. They kept changing the rules on. And quite frankly, relays exist in the real world. There's no reason why we couldn't just put a relay on the brain function and control a bigger thing. That is what relays do.
But we know that it has to be analog to work.
Oh, God. I swear, every time you're going to bring that up.
I am.
And every time it just hurts.
I know.
It's a little bit less each time, but it's still, you said it.
I'm going to wait for a while, and I'm just going to bring it out of nowhere, and it's just going to stab you all over again.
Yep. So we've got Project Powerhouse, and it is a replacement arm, or not a replacement arm, a mecha arm for him that happens to have frostbite treatment built into it.
Yeah, so it's helping him heal.
And also happens to be for the correct arm.
Yeah, I was like, Trapper just happened to have it?
Maybe. I mean, like it transformed on him. Maybe it could be interchangeable.
Where do you get the parts for that? I mean, really?
I don't. Well, they were building it. They were intending to build a suit for Godzilla.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be a
King Kong.
Or King Kong, because they wanted to power him up, and he said, they thought that it was a bad idea to make one of the most powerful kaijus more powerful. But we got the arm, And it happens
Has
that
to be
his
the correct arm.
It's a good thing his leg didn't get hit, because I don't know what power
it
kick
didn't actually
would do for him.
replace his arm. It was just more like an arm brace.
Yeah, it was an arm brace for him, but it was also allowed him to punch harder.
Yeah, well, because you're now lined with metal. You
Yeah.
know? It's like an adamantine exoskeleton rather than Wolverine's adamantine interior skeleton.
Although, at this point, I would like to see Iron Kong.
Does he get to fly with,
Yeah, I don't know, but I want to see
in his
it.
feet and hands?
Yeah. I want to see the full suit for
But then
for
he would
King
have
Kong.
to have an arc reactor in his chest.
I'm down. Listen, I want to see Godzilla throw the atomic breath at him, and him throw the chest breath at him, and them just to kind of like
Absorb each other?
blast back and forth to each other. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but you'd have to have Disney and WB work together on that.
And so at this point, King Kong decides he's going to go for reinforcements. And
Yeah, he's like, I can't
fortunately,
do this by myself.
the Iwi's palace has lots of portals to the surface.
Yes.
And these portals
Are
all
when he-
follow postcard rules.
Yeah, they all go to really famous places.
They all go to really famous. And
But the other thing is they've established that the barriers
yes.
are getting thin. You know, what is trapping King Scar underneath is getting thin, and
Well,
there's holes appearing.
As far as I understood it, the only thing keeping him was that Hollow Earth Level 2 didn't have portals in it.
Yes.
And so
now
he would
has
have to.
access
Now he has
to,
access
yeah,
to
but
Hollow
they're
Earth
also-
number 1.
they're- Yeah, but it's getting to where it's not as hard to get from in and out of Hollow Earth.
Yeah, well, that's definitely the case. And King Kong goes up for reinforcements, and Godzilla senses
And they go
King
to
Kong.
Egypt. I'm like, really? Do we have to destroy all the ancient historical?
What I think is funny is Godzilla is standing on the Rock of Gibraltar because, again,
It's
postcard
cool,
rules.
right?
And
Because
he
it's cool.
sees King Kong, and King Kong sees him, and they roar at each other. Do you know where the Rock of Gibraltar is from
On
Cairo?
the opposite side of the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah, quite a ways away.
Let's just say they have bionic eyes.
To be fair, they do have a higher vantage point.
But not that high.
Not that high. Somebody's got to do the math. If
Like, he's
you
got the
were
arc
as
of the
tall,
Earth.
yeah, the arc of the Earth, if you were as tall as them, would you be able to see? I don't know. It's
Even
the
that far away,
kaiju
he
radar,
would be
you know?
tiny. Their spidey senses. He's roaring at me. I feel it.
And King Kong goes to Cairo. We have the fight. We destroy the thing. No, dude, we don't want to fight. We wanna
Mothra
talk.
comes in. She's such a mom.
Yes.
She's such a mother character where she comes in. She's like, both of you, shut up, sit down. We're gonna work together, or else.
I'm going to turn this fight around if you don't stop it.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna send you both back to your rooms. You go to your Coliseum. You go to your underground cave.
Yeah.
Think about what you did.
Think about what you did. And so, yeah, they team up. Mothra shows up, and they go down, and we get the big fight
I
where
really
they.
wanted to see Kong have a reaction to Pink Godzilla. He was just, what the hell happened to you?
Yeah, not
What the heck?
again. Pink Godzilla is cool.
Yeah, it is. But
It's
I
just pink.
wanted to see his reaction to be like,
Yeah.
whoa, dude, you got your hair done. Yeah.
That would be a funny interaction. just to have them standing off from each other and have them look at him and go, Pink, huh? Or actually,
Just
even
have him
better,
look at him.
because there is that moment right after this. They go down, and then we get the cover art moment where they're
Yes.
both charging towards the camera with the arm upraised.
Upraised and yeah.
But it would be funny if before that he looks at him and just kind of like
Looks
hey,
him up and down.
Pink, and then he like smacks him or something.
Would have been funny.
But unfortunately, it's hard to do that sort of interaction
Without
without dialogue.
Yes.
So
I mean, you can do it. You can do it, but it would really take away from the
Yeah.
moment, too.
also, though, we did establish in previous movies that Mothra can talk to humans, and that Mothra can talk to the kaiju, and so we could potentially have that moment through. It ruined the movie that they did it in.
But we could do it.
You know, I think it's better that they didn't. So I do like the idea
Good
of
thing they
him being like,
abstained.
nice pink, nice arm. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Actually, it is, yeah.
So yeah, Mothra comes in and has a mom moment. Then go
Yep.
back to Hollow Earth.
And then they have a 0G battle.
Yep.
Was this cool? Yeah,
It's because they could do it because it's all CG.
yeah.
So you didn't have to go into an airplane and have them dive a million times to get the weightless effect.
Could you imagine doing that with the Godzilla suits, though?
No.
That would be awesome.
You don't have very much vision. You get so sick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
No,
you'd have to pay those actors like triple.
This was 100% because we could.
Rule of cool, yeah.
I don't even think it was that cool.
It's just they could.
I didn't enjoy this fight. It didn't add to the movie. It didn't improve anything for me. We could have skipped the 0G.
Yeah, it didn't.
They set it up well.
It didn't add to the story.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
They set it up well. They set up that the Iwis use gravity manipulation in order to build their civilization.
I mean, they explained it, but at the same point, did it advance the story at all?
Well, it advanced the story enough. It just wasn't. It just felt, for a movie that has already felt like there's a lack of scale, this added floaty to a lack of scale. It just didn't land for me. There are other points in this movie that were very, very good. And in fact, after this, Scar King takes a portal up to the surface.
Yeah, he runs away.
Runs away.
With Shimo.
And again, they show up in Rio.
Yes, they do.
Because postcard rules.
Well, it's because he wanted to see snow in Rio.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Who doesn't want to see snow in Rio?
The people who live there?
That's true. People who move there to get away from the snow. And we have a fight in Rio. Now, this is the one time when the movie had scale.
Yes, it was cool. And
this fight wasn't bad.
It had a lot of scale because you had a lot of iconic buildings that you know what the size of it is.
Yeah, and we had a lot of people running around and hiding from them. We had a lot of shots of people with kaiju in the background. There was a lot in this fight. I feel like whereas the previous fight didn't land for me, this one redeemed it.
I was going to say I loved the fight in Rio because not only visually, but because it had a point.
Yeah.
Not just, and we bumped into each other and now we're going to fight. It felt like Gettysburg. We bumped into each other and now we're going to fight.
Yeah. No, he was chasing him down. He was trying to get to the surface. This was what the Scar King was trying to do.
Yeah, he wanted to get to the surface.
It was well motivated. It worked.
Yeah.
Now we have Little Monkey, who at this point, for some reason in my notes, I decided to name Gonzo because I couldn't remember his name for him. But he sees the axe, he grabs the axe, he goes up to the surface, and he comes to the rescue. Oh man,
they fight, and they're like equally matched between your atomic
Maybe
breath and your ice breath,
Yeah.
and you've got strong arm versus strong arm, and they're pretty evenly matched until Little Monkey shows up with axe and smashes Crystal.
That's right.
And raise your hand if you didn't see that coming, so I can mock you.
Yeah, no, it was obvious. It was obvious, but it was still satisfying.
And so, he smashes the crystal, and Shimo turns around and is like, I have hated you for 20,000 years. I shall get my revenge.
And Skull King gets iced.
Scar King. Iced and shattered.
Iced and shattered.
With the cool built-up arm.
Yeah, it was a build-up. It was a delivery. The only thing they didn't deliver on was the tooth. But other than that, it was pretty good.
You're still hung up on the tooth.
And then we get this emotional closure moment.
Yeah.
Where, the mom has been watching the Iwu girl
she's
among the Iwu. And
Iwi,
she's getting ready to let her go.
She's so expecting that now that Gia knows that she's not alone and she can talk to these people telepathically and it doesn't matter if she can't hear.
She's like,
she's going to go with them. And I have to be ready.
Family.
Because she actually talked to Trapper earlier in the movie about the fact after they found the Iwi.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to have to be prepared to let her go. And I love her so much, but I have to love her enough to let her go.
And boy, the payoff was good.
Oh, it was so sweet.
And when she's like, again, this little girl can emote so well.
Brilliant actress.
And when she signs,
being so young,
our place is to get home is us together. And the mom breaks down, and the girl breaks down, and I break down, and it was so good.
We need mechanics for everyone. They're all broken down.
And it ends with, I remember what song it ended with. The music on this movie was really, really good.
But yeah, I loved that, Scar King's frozen, he's shattered. Yay, teamwork occurs to the party. Yeah. And then, Godzilla uses his atomic breath to fix the oncoming ice age.
Yeah.
Woo! And then he goes back to the Coliseum for a nap.
There was a scene in Godzilla the series, the animated series based on the 1998 Zilla. Where he meets an ice manta ray monster, and their breaths intercept, and it creates like clouds and
steam,
stuff above it. That was a cool scene. I kind of feel bad that they didn't do that.
Borrow it.
But at the same time, it allowed Godzilla, like you say, to clear up the Ice Age.
I just thought, you know what? After all that, he still has to swim to Rome to take a nap. This
Yeah.
guy has been, he started in
gonna...
Rome, he went to the Arctic, well, he started in Rome, he went to France, he went to the Arctic, had to go to Egypt, then he had to go to Rio, then he has to go back to...
Yeah.
I'm like, just let the man nap.
In the previous movie, it was established that Godzilla used like an underground set of, you know, hollow earth tubes to get around, except that he didn't know about the hollow earth, or he did, but he
not the extent of it.
Right, whatever. And so maybe he's just going to hollow earth his way there. He
just takes
faster.
a water slide in the hollow earth.
Why
I
not?
don't know.
Why not? And then we show up to the Valley of the Apes.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, man, yeah, I just realized that was a good one. And King Kong is riding on Anti-Zilla.
Yep.
And apes together strong.
Yes, he goes back to the family, and now Kong is actually King Kong.
Yeah, he's got
king.
people to be king over.
Yes.
And it will be interesting to see where this goes in the next movie.
Did you know that Godzilla -1 was actually released 4 months earlier?
Yes.
But I didn't know if that was the worldwide release or just the Japan release, or what?
I think that was, well, no, it was I think it was released worldwide at the same time. So was this movie competing with -1 in the theaters?
A lot of people detracted on this one because they
and yet it still made bank.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
But you know, some of that could have been coattail.
People were comparing the two.
And a lot of people said this one did not measure up.
I would agree.
-1.
I would agree, but at the same time, here's the thing. I've already derided this movie. and let's look at the rankings.
I was very entertained.
It is in many ways better than a lot of classic Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
It was not as good as the previous one. Mm-hmm. It was definitely not as good as -1, which we will be talking about next week. Yeah, -1 is our next Godzilla movie. But how does it fall on the ranking? Okay, so I took the bold move of putting Godzilla versus King Kong in my #1 spot last week. You put it a little bit further down.
Yeah. Versus Kong.
Versus Kong.
I have it 4th or 5th.
4th or 5th. Okay. The original King Kong 1933 is still sitting up there at the top. Now, I will say, if I were to re-rank these right now, they would not fall into this place. Yeah, because there's a lot of movies that I would rearrange it. King Kong, the 1933 version, held on to the top spot for a long time.
It's still top on mine.
And it is because of, not just because it's a good movie, but it is a good movie.
There's a lot of nostalgia factor in
But
there.
there's a lot, and also all of these other movies owe their existence to that one.
And they created this genre, pretty much, as far as Hollywood is concerned.
Absolutely. Under that is Godzilla 2014. Below that is Godzilla King of the Monsters. I can already tell you that New Empire is going to be below Godzilla
versus Kong.
It's going to be below King of the Monsters for me. Is it better than King Kong versus Godzilla? That is the 1944 movie with the suitmation.
I'm going to put it, for me, I'm going to put it below Pacific Rim.
Okay.
And
below Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and above King Kong versus Godzilla.
Okay, so you know what? I'm also putting it just above the original King Kong versus Godzilla, but my King Kong versus Godzilla was a lot higher than yours. Yes. And so I'm putting it in the number 5 spot.
And I think the reason why I'm putting it so low is because for a majority of the movie, Godzilla was an afterthought. And that bothered me.
I agree with you. And also, this being so focused on, boy, you're talking me into trying to move it down a little bit.
Talking you down.
Oh, here's the thing.
Devil's
I'm looking
advocate.
At just below King Kong versus Godzilla, and just below King Kong versus Godzilla is King Kong Escapes. And if I'm comparing this movie,
you're just because you're highly amused by King Kong Escapes.
It was such an amusing movie. I'm going to stick with it. It's in my number 5 spot, and it's in your number 7 spot, which still, I think,
it's still in the top third.
In the A tier.
Yeah, it's still in the top third.
Or if not in the A tier, we've broken it down. We got a B tier now, and it's
because we finally have enough on the list.
We have enough on the list to have a B tier, but this is not the best MonsterVerse movie.
But it is certainly not the worst monster movie out there.
It is certainly not the worst.
It is not
movie.
Cloverfield.
No, well, and it's not even
not
Godzilla
Gamera 3.
Returns. It's not even
Uprising or Rodan.
Rodan. Yeah, it's better than a lot of really bad movies.
Yeah.
It is the least of the MonsterVerse at this time, but it's still better than a lot of other movies that are out there. So I'm pretty happy with that ranking. I'm pretty happy with where it's sitting on there. Next week we are going to be looking at Godzilla -1. And at that point, we are pretty much caught up. That will be
I'm gonna do
the last. Yeah, you're gonna do a wrap up.
My wrap up one about if you like kaiju, try this.
Yeah. Which is what you do as a librarian.
This is what I do constantly as a librarian.
And so it's good to kind of have that resource. I do think that we will be revisiting the kaiju review in the future.
Yeah, when we have update. Here's the new Godzilla V.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will say this. As a fan of giant monster movies, as a fan of the original Godzilla, as a fan of, the genre in general, we are eating good these days.
We are. There's a lot.
There's a lot of really good options out there, and I don't hate them.
No, there's a few that, thank heaven we grew past.
Yes.
But, they were stepping stones to better things.
And I have enjoyed the process of going back and looking at these older ones. It has enriched my experience with these new ones.
Because we've seen how far we've come.
Not just seen how far we've come.
And how bad they can be.
There were a lot of good things that were done in a lot of those old movies that we have built on in the new ones. And it's
some of the
kind of fun.
that they created, some of the, the suitmation, you're like, well, if we can put a guy in a suit and create scale, what can we do with digital?
Man, at this point, though, now you're making me think that I need to drop it down because the scale issue in this movie was so bad. No, I'm going to leave it where it is. But all right, let's sign off.
If you enjoyed our conversation, our little podcast, if you have any comments you want to give us, hey, get on there, like us, comment, make the algorithms think we're cooler than we really are. But that's it for this episode. So we invite you to look through your library and do some shelf examinations of your own. I'm Sarah.
I'm Joe.
And we hope you enjoyed this episode.
We'll see you next time.